I'm not filming with my headset on this time, even though I want to because I need a haircut and it hides the sides of my head. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back to the channel, and thanks for clicking on this video, which, if you saw the title, you might have realized it's going to be something a little different than what I just did with my Lost Ark video, and I want to just say thank you guys for the support on that. I really appreciate it. This one's actually going to be a bit of a conversation piece, and I'm going to open up with a question, and the question is a very simple one. What kind of content do you guys come to my channel to see? I'm curious. I just want to see down in the comment section what you guys are here to watch. I'm someone who likes to create a lot of different kinds of content, and I know that's very contradictory given that my YouTube library, if you go to my channel right now, is basically just the same 5 videos of me playing video games with a tiny crappy webcam, which, yeah, if you can believe it, I actually used to have one even worse than this. But recently I've been trying to expand my horizons, put more work and effort into my productions, learn more about what it takes to be a content creator instead of just kind of winging it. I think you could probably get by doing that, but you're probably much better off and going to make a lot more progress as a creator if you learn from other people who have experience and are willing to share that information with you. There are a lot of YouTube channels that talk about this kind of stuff and give away basically the secrets to success, teaching techniques on how to make better content, how to be a better producer, and how to expand your brand. And the word brand will probably become tired by the time I'm done with this video, but it is important. And I wanted to share the perspective of someone who has tried to get into content creation in the past and has gone through kind of like peaks and valleys, and ultimately gotten burned out a number of times. Now, the inspiration for this video is actually from another video that was posted by Harris Heller, also known as Alpha Gaming on YouTube. One of the big inspirations for how I've started to sort of refocus my productions and change the perspective on how I create content. We're not going to go over the whole video to give you just sort of a TLDR rundown version of what was going on. There was a clip a while ago about a Grandmaster chess player named Hikari, I think, was on Twitch talking about how a different Twitch player was playing under the just chatting category and how that was impacting the viewership for chess and thereby impacting income and sponsorship for other chess players. This whole conversation ended up being a video that Harris made where he talks about how you need to diversify your business and that putting all of your eggs in one basket, to use that phrase again, is not a good idea. Now, for all intents and purposes, I am nobody. I have the tiniest little following. I think as the time of making this is 38 subscribers, and I was ecstatic to have 700 viewers on my Lost Ark video, which thank you guys very much for. I really appreciate that. One of the biggest contributing factors to people failing at creating content, and this is something that you'll see a lot of different producers and creators reiterate, is burnout. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that the burnout is real. When you get burnt out, the quality of your content starts to suffer to a point that you don't even feel like making it anymore, and it sort of feeds into itself and you just stop. There were times where I was actually starting to grow a following. At this time, I currently have 380 followers on Twitch the last time I looked. Most of those people don't even look at my channel anymore, and they probably aren't even active on Twitch anymore because I accumulated those people through different stints of streaming hardcore over time. And ultimately what always ended up happening was I streamed too much, I was going too hard, and I wasn't really diversifying my content, so I got really burnt out by hyper-focusing on one thing to the point that I wasn't really enjoying doing it anymore, so I just stopped. That can do a lot of harm because you put so much time and effort into something, and you expect to see a certain amount of results based on the effort you put in, and you don't get those results because you need to be able to make different content, branch out onto different platforms, especially Twitch. I'm probably not the first person to tell you that Twitch is not the best platform to grow on. Any Twitch channel that's out there that's big, I mean, take Shroud for example, he'll probably tell you the same thing. I mean, he had a following on Twitch prior because he was a professional player for Counter-Strike and just a naturally charismatic person. But a lot of his growth can be attributed to the viewership of clips, stuff on Twitter, YouTube stuff showing up, and all of that sort of brings people back to his channel where they want to catch more of that live. But if he didn't have that content that was put out there, not by just himself, but by other people, he would not have seen the kind of growth that he did. So if you're a content creator and you're interested in branching out, growing your brand, and trying to get yourself on more discoverable platforms, YouTube is a really good place to start. Twitter as well. If Twitch is what you ultimately want to do, you're really not going to find success by just slamming your face into the keyboard over and over again on Twitch. And I can tell you that from experience and from people I know who have tried to do the same thing. Before I go too much further down this rabbit hole, I wanted to look at some of the points that Harris is making in terms of how you grow your business. And I thought this video was really informative from the perspective of someone who really knows what they're talking about, and I wanted to kind of give a little commentary on it from someone who is growing their channel pretty much from scratch with the advice of the people that he's watching. So let's take a look at that.
Your success is your responsibility alone, and if you are not finding it, it's time to innovate. I actually made this exact mistake 5 years ago and ended a very successful social media career that I had. For those of you who are new here, I started on social media making music with my wife, and we actually started on Vine. And when we found success and grew to like 1.5 million followers on Vine, we ended up kind of putting all of our eggs in the Vine basket and kind of giving them the keys to our career by not doing anything else. And I mean, as you guys know, Vine died, and very soon after, so did our careers. I mean, we went from making a solid 6 figures a year down to me having to go out and get another job. Which brings me to number 2, which I've mentioned a handful of times, so I won't spend too much time on it, but diversify both your business and your income.
So that is exactly what I was talking about. I guess I picked a pretty good spot in the video. The whole point is that when you put all of your effort, and it's not just only putting your eggs in one basket, but also realizing the fact that because he placed all of his bets on Vine being the only thing that he was going to work on, he also didn't really expand his career at all beyond what he was doing on Vine, because that's all he was focused on. So now he's got this thing where he's making music and he's doing YouTube videos and he's got Twitch streams and he's producing content for other people. None of that would have happened if he just stayed on Vine. And granted, if you continue to make 6 figures on Vine, I don't really think anybody's ever going to have a problem with that. Whether or not it's creatively fulfilling for the entire time you're there, that's a whole nother question, but I'm not in his head.
Placing your eggs in multiple baskets guarantees that even if 1 or 2 die, you are totally fine. I talked about this a little bit in a previous video, but I make my income, I think 5 or 6 different ways. I make money on YouTube ad revenue on these videos, Twitch subs and bits, sponsorships and brand deals, Amazon associate links, stream beats, streams, and actually now, as of this week,
I use the stream beats in my videos, by the way.
First merch launch with Meta Threads.
And that's a dope shirt.
This is the Wholesome t-shirt, because here on the side it says wholesome and most definitely does not say hentai. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Link in the description below. When we were on Vine, we thought Vine was going to last forever. And literally brand deals on Vine were the only way we made money. We occasionally...
Okay, this makes me think about Mixer. And I went to Mixer, and I think I was on Mixer for about a week and a half before I was like, this ain't it. I was streaming Apex Legends, and that's all I was doing, which, big surprise, huge saturated market, no discoverability, platform that was basically just trying to grab and pick big names to make them explode and bring more income to their platform. So they really weren't worried about the little guys like me, even less so than Twitch somehow.
We occasionally put up a YouTube cover and, you know, did some stuff on Instagram as well, but for the most part, when Vine died, so did our entire income. So diversify your content, diversify your income, find as many ways to make money as possible. And finally, number 3, one that people really hate hearing, is spend your money on things that will make you more money.
Don't make a comment about my webcam, because I already know. And this mic is not that bad. Obviously, this video doesn't really talk that much about the burnout aspect that I mentioned, but I think diversifying your content is a way to avoid getting burnt out. Normally, I wouldn't record so many videos in such a short period of time. I mean, I've put up the Lost Ark video on Monday, and here I am on Wednesday recording again. That's pretty unusual for me. But because I'm trying to make different types of content where I like to sort of express my views on things, it makes it a little bit easier for me to find the motivation to do that. You might ask a question. I think a lot of people run into this problem when they're thinking about getting into a particular type of content, like let's say for a specific game. There's already a million people doing it. Why would I bother to do it? There's all these people with huge followings. how am I going to break into this market? It can be very challenging to break into a market that's already established with huge followings. But the thing is, you're always going to have a way to explain things or say things that's going to be different enough, as long as you're giving it your own flair and not just carbon copying somebody, that people are going to want to hear what you have to say. I've seen a lot of different people create content for different games and different, like, you know, movie reviews and just conversational pieces like this. And I'll watch their content and I'm like, oh man, I would love to talk about that because I want to express my opinion on that in my own way. Being able to diversify your content in the way that you're making it your own is really, I think, what's going to help people to expand. You won't end up with that burnout like I did, where you just drop off the following that you made up to that point and get very discouraged, and then you got to start over from square one.
Hearing is spend your money on things that will make you more money, not on things that you want. Let me try to explain exactly what I mean here. I visit a lot of small streams, and countless times I see a $400 microphone or a $1,000 camera setup or just a massive array of monitors, all of which bring $0 back to the stream. And then a lot of times these exact streamers will ask me, hey, what's a good free video editor? I can't afford Premiere or Final Cut.
Or Vegas, which does still to this day crash constantly. I have the latest version. It crashes all the time. You can't edit anything while the video is playing, because if you try to move it, it's just, you're done. You sort of learn to pick up on its nuances and figure out when it's going to crash so you can avoid that, and just remember to Control S 24/7. Anyway, don't waste your money on stupid shit. Buy what you need.
Just can't build a business without capital, and buying stuff that doesn't make you money, especially early on, is the exact same as throwing money in the garbage. Kenzie and I were actually in a little bit of debt for a while, and the growth of this channel actually pulled us out of it. And I would have loved to spend my first, $3,000 Twitch payout on a brand new gaming rig. Mine was really weak at the time. But instead, I hired Sam so that I could make my videos more consistent and higher quality. I have a catalog of at least 10 online courses on sites like Udemy and Skillshare, things on video editing courses, audio editing courses. I bought a masterclass for storytelling because I wanted to do a better job of communicating with my audience.
All right, so one of the reasons that I really like Harris's channel and content creators like him is that these are people who have gone through all of the bullshit, and they're giving you simplified explanations and versions of all of this so that you don't have to use your brain. You still have to use your brain. You don't have to think that hard about it. You don't have to go digging and spend all the money. You can learn a lot of that valuable information from these kinds of channels, and I cannot stress enough how much I would encourage you guys, if you're interested in starting a content career and you're interested in getting into this kind of thing, to watch people like this. It is invaluable and you will learn so much. I was so proud when I finished my Lost Ark video. I went and watched it back a few times just to make sure it was a finished product. I was so proud of how the video turned out, and it was only the first time I had actually edited a video in like several years. And it's really simple, but it's just the little details that you pick up on from learning from people like this that really up your production. And when you're happy with the results and you like what you've done, you sort of find yourself more encouraged to keep doing more. It's just like the burnout thing sort of compounds on itself. This positive reinforcement of being happy with the content you're creating, it makes you want to make more.
For storytelling, because I wanted to do a better job of communicating with my audience. All the while, I really wanted a brand new custom mechanical keyboard, which at this point I totally could afford right now. But instead, I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars building Stream Beats, which has ended up being a huge success, not only just monetarily, but also for building my brand as a streamer. It's been really cool. And look, there's nothing wrong.
Side note, I just wanted to shout out, music is one of the biggest problems that people have when it comes to content creation, especially as a streamer. If you stream music that's not royalty free and not copyright free, you can't import your video from Twitch or export it from Twitch and then edit it and upload it to YouTube, because it will get copyright striked and all of the ad revenue for that video will get claimed. Now, even if you're a small content producer that doesn't make money or is just barely making, pennies on the dollar from views right now, that still hurts because it affects your overall analytics and channel growth. and some stuff that you post might not be advertised or is easily searchable because of those copyright strikes.
With buying stuff that makes you as a streamer, it's been really cool. And look, there's nothing wrong with buying stuff that makes you happy. All I'm asking is that you admit that buying nano-leafs is not a good business investment when you're first starting out. Cool. But anyway,
I wanted to buy some.
Box, and I do really hope stuff like this is helpful. I had to learn this the hard way with my first career, and I make these videos to try to make sure you don't have to learn the same way I did.
If you guys like this kind of content, please let me know down in the comments, because I like to make this sort of thing. I am someone who never knows how to shut up, so if you give me an opportunity to ramble, I'll do it to you all the time. And if you keep coming back and clicking on these, I'll know you want to see them. Just remember not to burn yourself out. Use the resources that are available to you and try to pace yourself. It can be really tempting to just try to go super hard and keep yourself motivated to hit like impossible goals. But the more you push yourself like that, the more likely you are to fall off the wagon and not really get to where you're looking to go. That's about it for the video. Thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.